Peace. This is Flo Rogan, and this is The Art of Rhyming, episode 49. Just because you rhyme doesn't make you an artist. You know how we do. This is something to aspire to. Today I got a returning guest. You know I like to build with guests, certain MCs over and over again. One of those is j.roberts, the Northside Irishman, and he just dropped his new project, Gift and Curse, mostly produced by Body Bag Ben. It's a boombap barn burner, I'll call it. He's hitting more milestones. Sold out his Bars Over BS CD debut. Let's invite him on the live and get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Stand by. Oh, there he is. Let me get Jay on the live here. How's everyone's night tonight? Looks good, Cameron. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Pet Stew. Peace, Jay.
Hey, yo.
How are you, bro?
Good, brother. How are you doing?
Good. It's our third time chopping up, man. It's been a minute though. Feels like it's been a minute.
Been like a year.
Has it been? Oh,
yeah.
You're right. Yeah, man. How's your day today, man? Let's start there. I always like to start there.
Going pretty good. Work as usual, man. The grind never stops.
Yeah.
Trying to find some free time when I can, you know?
Yeah. For those that don't know, and Jay's already shared this, I think he works at a mental health institution, man. Not easy work, so salute, bro. Crazy.
Thank you.
I've been working like an animal myself, man. So look, I want exactly, man. So I want to give Jay a bit of an intro. The Northside Irishman, he goes by. He reps Toronto. Once again, he dropped another boom bap barn burner. I came up with that, and I like that title, man, because that's how it feels when I'm listening to your project.
Canadian thing, barn burner.
Yeah, I guess so, man. So Gift and Curse. And you know what? I'm just gonna run things down chronologically. We'll get right into it, man. So you came out of nowhere. I feel like 2022. You drop your debut project, Northside. Produced by, I would call him a legend, Blanks.
Yeah.
And had a lot of like heavy features, heavy hitters. Every track got played on Shade 45. We're talking multiple DJs. You could give me the rundown if you want to get. I'm sure you're tired of getting into this stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Premiere, Static, Lord's Here Special with Boogie, DJ Clips, you name it, probably a couple others.
Right.
They all been running on.
Right. And plenty of Spotify streams as well. Then 2023, you dropped your second project, Shamrock and Machine Guns. I think you did pretty good on Shade 45 as well on that one, right?
Yeah, every single got played and a couple loose ones as well.
Right. So you got two projects in a row. Everything got spun by multiple DJs on Shade 45. That's no coincidence to me, bro. That's crazy, man. And that one debuted at #1 on the Canadian hip-hop iTunes charts.
Yes,
and that was produced by Imperative, another great sample-based producer, also Canadian. Heavy boom bap drums, continuing with that theme. So I was at the album release party. That was dope. So me and you have built a bit. As an aside, I wanted to mention, I think I caught that the track Better Days, one of the songs off that album, was that a hip-hop song of the year in London? That's a city here in Ontario, if I got it right?
Yeah. I believe they run an award show in London, Ontario, and it won, I think, production of the year for the Better Days track. So, yeah, it won an award, which is pretty fire.
That's pretty dope. And that had L Biz on the hook. Interviewed him a couple of times myself from Buffalo.
And Rashid Chappelle as well.
Right.
Featured.
Was he on that track? Yeah, he was.
Rashid Chappelle, yeah.
Dope. How did that award come about? Like, do you have to do a submission for yourself, or do you get picked, or how does that work?
Imperative sent a submission. You have to send a bio. I think he sent some of the credentials of what the song did. It was on Sirius XM like relentlessly. So I think that helped, and the song just sounds great. So it went to a panel. He ended up getting nominated and eventually winning the award for the song.
That's dope, man. And then if I got it right, Shamrock and Machine Guns, you guys submitted that for Juno, which is for the U.S. folks. That's like a Canadian Grammy, right? Yep. Anything you could share about what that process looks like?
Yeah, the process is it's not too bad. So they're right now, I think it's over, but they had an early bird special. So your submission only costs 75 instead of 150, I
Right.
believe. You have to add your bio, which is like a certain amount of characters, a professional picture, and then if you submit an album, you want to pick a lead track for like a jury to listen to, which we eventually picked Better Days. So that
Right.
will be the song that we show a panel,
Right.
and then I guess it goes to a list of judges. When they go through the listening process, they take in your streams, your credentials, any accolades that the
Right.
project had, and then they take that into consideration. And then if you are eventually nominated, then I guess you'll be going to the red carpet
Oh
and see if
wow.
you can win.
That should put you in a pretty damn good spot, man, because you've been streaming well. How did that project do?
Uh, Number one Canadian charts. I think it's almost a quarter million streams, so it did
That's crazy.
quite well.
Dope.
Yeah,
So it should do well, man. Fingers
yeah, I
crossed,
agree.
man.
Open.
Um, so yeah, I saw you also had an interview with the Biz podcast. I feel like they're an authority in the underground. Personally, I think that was a good look.
Yes.
From what I understand, that they booked their interviews well in advance, man. How did that one come together
Yeah, we were
for
we
you?
were chopping it up. I think like a bloody year ago,
Right,
um, and then it finally came into fruition. And they're quite a coveted like platform like yourself, where they pick people. You know, I think it's like plotted, and it definitely. I was blessed to be on that platform as well as yours. You know, I definitely gained some new fans from it, so it was
oh
great
man.
all around.
Mutually, it happens mutually. I always,
That's right.
trade fans, so it's always dope. Yeah, man. For me, I'm a solo on this, so I just wing it, man, more or less. But from what I understand, they really like plan their shit out. So
Yeah.
dope that you got on there, man. Um, I'm gonna be honest. There was a period earlier this year, you know what I mean? Because I follow you quite a bit. We talk quite a bit, where it felt like your presence was kind of dipping. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah.
Was there
Yeah. Well,
was there anything going on that you care to talk about,
Well,
or
yeah, I was getting married,
right?
so there was a
C-
lot
c-
of
c-
planning.
congrats, by the
Thank
way,
you,
man. Congrats.
thank you. Yeah, there was a lot of planning involved. You know, I was grinding out with work. You know, the finances got to be up to par for a wedding,
Yeah,
especially the one
yeah,
that we had. So
yeah.
I more as well. Life took the driver's seat for a bit. I dropped "Keep It Moving" in January, and then "Dead Wrong" in I don't know, July, I believe. So for those couple months, though, I might not have been online, but I was crafting, like just barricading music while I could. I just didn't
Right.
have time to write a Sweet 16 on a Monday to keep the content up and shit like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so yeah, I got married and then I freed up a little bit after that.
yeah, yeah. It's time consuming making content, man, for
Of
sure.
course. And I'm not a content creator, I'm a fucking rapper.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know, I try to appease the algorithm sometimes and throw a little video out there. But for the most part, I stopped doing that because I just want to focus on music, to be honest.
right, right. So completely understandable with the situation, man. But you're always set on like you feel like you're set on the game. Like I feel things are picking up. We're gonna get right back into it. But
Yes.
did I always like doing a pulse check? Were you questioning sort of the future with music at all? Were you in that kind of state or
Nothing at
not at
all.
all?
No, I don't
Okay.
question it at all because it's like I'm in a great benefit of it where I don't need it. You know,
Mm,
I want it. I love
right,
it. So I'm
right,
not on the timeline where I have to be a certain level or get to where people want to get to or worry about this or that. I don't really care.
right.
So I kind of run on my own timeline. It's been working well. I definitely have the strategies and all that planned out. So yeah, not worried whatsoever.
I feel like every time, like even if I take a hiatus from this platform, I start up again. I gotta kind of get in the zone. I gotta get people re-engaged and stuff. Did you feel that as well at all? Like turning
Nah,
on the gas, or just got right back to
I
where you
I
left off?
find like being a rapper, you know, I have my audience that's never leaving. I'm doing features, you know, I'll do the odd thing here and there so it keeps me engaged. No matter
Right,
what, I'm never really worried. No, nothing's leaving. So, you know, I have a
right.
presence enough that if I disappear for a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not gonna hurt me.
sometimes it's good to
Yeah,
take a little breather
a
for
little
the
break.
audience too, for sure.
100%.
So 2024, you just dropped Gift and the Curse. Was it last week or was it 2 weeks ago
October
now?
11th. So yeah, I think 2 weeks ago.
So debuted number 4 on the Canadian hip hop charts. I think there was some technical thing with that, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so my distro kid out of nowhere changed my release date, and then I had to like re-enter my release date, and it ended up charting on October 2nd, which was like almost 10 days before my initial debut. So it was like number 4, and then by the time my album dropped on the 11th, which is mental to me, there was like a interference with the charting. So there was no updates.
Right,
Usually iTunes will update at night at like 1 a.m. or even 6 a.m. But there was no updates until like 12 noon the next day. And I just wasn't on the debut whatsoever.
right,
So
right.
I guess with the technicalities, I ended up going 4th, which is a shame. But it's still a nice look, so it is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I just want to shout out some of the people that have joined Life. I think that's a homie of yours.
Yeah,
Royalty, it's different.
Imperative,
Thank you for joining Imperative.
salute.
Show Rock. You
Shazy,
got the gang in the house.
Show Rock,
Doc Fabiang. He's asking if you're Irish. We're telling him you're Canadian.
Canadian Irishman.
Chris, I think Sazy joined too. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you might know this, but Jay-Z Blueprint 2 is called The Gift and the Curse. You probably know that, right?
Yeah.
Not sure if you know, but it sounds like you felt strongly about the title. It seems like you tweaked it a bit. Do you want to tell us the meaning behind the title?
Yeah.
What it means to you?
It's really not even that deep. The funny thing is when I was crafting one of my songs, I just like had gift and curse in my head. So that ended up becoming like a narrative. And then when I did Dead Wrong with Shay Noir as the feature, in her verse, she ended up saying, "My gift and curse is done." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Yo,
Right.
it's all working without me even trying." So then
Yeah.
my outro track, I ended up just pretty much making the album because of the outro track.
Right. Does it have a deeper meaning at all, or
I
just
mean,
just a cool title?
I guess the meaning would be like the lesser and better of evils,
Right.
But
Right.
I didn't really make the whole album strictly based off that, It just pretty much I just felt it.
Got it.
So I just ran with it.
Just instinctual
Yeah.
to use the title. Got it. So the artwork was dope too. I love that portrait. Was that Craig Dyer
So
that made it for you?
the painted one was Craig Dyer. So I do most of my I did Shamrock's cover. I did the DSP version of Gift and Curse, the one with the cherubs fighting and all that.
Right.
I did that one strictly for streaming, but I wanted my artwork one to be exclusive because I already got wind that I'm gonna get the distribution deal.
That's dope.
So I wanted to make it where like you're not gonna see this artwork anywhere else but the physical.
Do you have a blown up version of that in the house, or
no? Not yet, bro. Like I've been so busy and shit that I'm going to be printing out some shit. I'm due for a couple more of these bad boys behind me as well. So eventually I'll be updating the room.
Yeah. Sherlock has had this album playing on the treadmill this morning. That's the type of music it is, man. High energy boom bap. Feel like you could punch someone in the face to it. You know what I'm saying? So
100%. Hard body shit.
Yeah, man. So most of the production is from Body Bag Band. You got a track produced by Machacha. DJ Goldman, I think I follow him.
Yeah, he's
I don't know much
Canadian.
about Canadian.
Yeah.
From the West Coast, I guess. And is that all the producers?
And DK from out east.
DK. So usually you like to go with one. Well, so far you've done one producer. How did it end up that you sort of diversified producers?
So what ended up happening is I bought one initial beat from Body Bag Band. This is literally how all my albums have happened. It's so odd.
Right.
So I bought the Keep It Moving beat, and I got RJ Payne on that. It just felt the need for RJ Payne, and then we were chopping it up, and he's like, "Yo, like I'll run a little thing for you." He gave me a quick nice little deal. So, you know, spent a little bread, ended up getting 5 beats in total, and then he threw in a sixth. So initially we are going to do an EP, but I'm like,
Right.
man, you know, when I'm in my creative space, an EP is very tough for me.
Right.
So then I reached out to DK. He's been chopping it up with me. So I'm like, yo, let me hear some. So he crafted Dead Wrong. And then I already had, like, I heard the feature for it, which was Shay Noir. And then Machacha was, like, running some things, and he sent me a beat pack. And then Coin Flip is the track. It just hit me. You know, I instantly got myself writing, so I added that one. And then DJ Goldman, he's a homie. He's been showing mad love. You know, he usually spins my singles, you know, throw some cuts on it. So I ended up scooping up one of his beats, and then I just made it an album.
Right. And like, I feel like your music is a throwback to like the early 90s, like boom bap drums, like hardcore drums. And the opening track, man, like it used to be in the early 90s, even the 80s, I go that far back, they would throw on the hardest track as track one, man. And like, that's exactly what you're doing, man. Is that part of your formula? Because you have a pretty consistent formula with how you put your stuff together.
With Northside, you know, I found Northside was definitely one of the hardest tracks. I wanted that straight off the jump so people don't get it twisted. Shamrocks, you know, that was a little bit me and Imperative talking. You know, might not have been the best intro, but for what it was worth, it's a track that I really love. It's more of a niche track. It had a story. I had a narrator. I already knew that the general public might not fuck with that off the rip.
Yeah.
So then Crafting, Gift, and Curse, I was like, I'm going with the hardest shit straight off the rip. So, you know, Onyx is one of my favorite groups. I got that cut in by DJ Merciless. He's a Toronto producer, DJ.
Ason's DJ, no?
Yeah, Ason Eastwood's guy. So, and that shit was just, it was just hard body shit. So I'm like, that's the intro right there.
Yeah. And every DJ you've used on your projects knows how to scratch, man. You spare no attention to detail on the vocals, man. That's part of your formula, I would say, man. So, and Sharok is like track one is my favorite. Mine as well, one of the hardest tracks of the year, in my opinion, honestly. So, just to get back to Body Bag Ben, man, perfect continuation of your sound, handling the bulk of the production. But I just want to point out, it's crazy that he produced Chino XL's last project, man. Like,
insane.
Was finishing it up, like, as after he passed away, if I understand correctly, man.
Legendary shit, man.
Yeah, man. And I think Christopoulos has an interview with him. I think they get into it. I got to check it out because I want to hear what Body Bag has to say, man. So
fire.
Yeah.
Salute the Body Bag, man. Incredible producer and rapper.
Yeah. I had him in Vegas 7 on, and was an honor to have him on. So just to get back to it, give me a second here.
Mm-hmm.
Bear with me here. Yeah. So for my peripheral, you're one of the only artists I see, underground artists, that drop singles like in advance of dropping a project. Is that like a strategy you always plotted out, or you just figured it out as you went? It seems to work to your advantage.
It's actually
streams and shit.
Man, the way I craft albums is completely mental. You know, I almost don't suggest anybody to do what I'm doing. None of my albums so far are meant to be albums. Me and Blanks, our first single was Checkmate. So we ran off the strength with that, which ended up blossoming to a album. Then with Shamrocks, I got the Guillotine beat. With the strength of that and how the audience recepted it, we ended up doing a full album. Then with Gift and Curse, the strength off Keep It Moving, and then just things falling the way they did, it turned into a bloody album. So I've actually never sat down except for this album coming next and wrote it specifically as an album with no singles.
That's the upcoming album.
Yeah, with Old Man 80s.
That's going to be interesting because, it plays like a bunch of singles. It's cohesive, but everything bangs like a single, man. So, so yeah, man.
It's working. It's a quirky system I have, but, you know, it's working for me. So, you know.
And back to the Bars Over BS. I want to
Oof.
congratulate you on that release. It sold out in 6 hours. Is that right? Did I get
Yeah,
that right?
bro. And the two OBI, the tape, the gold tape, and the CD with the OBI strip, they sold out in half an hour, like
Right, right,
almost
right.
instantly. It was insane.
That's dope. And how many units was that, if you don't
To
mind
be
me asking?
to be honest, I'm not sure. I think it's very limited. I think it was 40 altogether,
Right.
which is still pretty impressive, given like the premium price and the quality. So, I've been trying to get a distribution deal since Northside, my
Yeah.
debut.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're not really as known. I definitely have like the numbers to back me. I have an audience. I have all that. But at the end of the day, they gotta believe in your product and also the shit involved with it. So I finally got it after 3 years, thankfully, and I was like popping
Oh,
bottles for that. Got it
so
sold
so
out,
so
bro.
you've been actively trying since the first project.
Of
It's
course.
dope that you knew the landscape even, man. Because like when I started this platform 2 years ago, man, I was just learning all this shit through talking to other people. But it seems like you knew your shit out the gate, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. I think it was like 50, 60. So yeah, it
Yeah,
it was it was a good amount. So I was pretty excited. Like I'll take selling out of a distribution deal over a number one charting album over almost any streams.
yeah,
That's the most gratification you get as an
yeah.
artist is selling out of your product, and especially under 24 hours is an incredible feat for me and one of the highlights of my year.
I copped one of them with shipping. It was like 57 Canadian. What is that American? I don't know,
Like 30,
maybe 45,
35, but 35 American.
35. But the bottom line is for someone to pay 57 Canadian, 40 people, 50 people. It's a feat in my books, man. Not
Agreed,
everyone
bro.
even
And
sell
the
that
wild
much. So
thing is, bro,
congrats.
like half the people that I have in my community and outside, they didn't even get a chance to cop.
Right.
Like I'm getting messages like later that night. They're like, "Yo, I went to buy it and it was sold out." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, I
Yeah.
did not see that coming that fast." Hey, yo, pause.
Well, that's the key for it to sell out, right? So that
Back,
next time it'll be more and
bro.
more units, right? So
Yeah.
that's
And a
dope, man.
big salute to everyone who bought Gift and Curses. That shit's a great look.
Yeah, man. So I've said it before, I feel like your style has a really good middle ground between flows, delivery, bars, and always hardcore boom bap beats. It's automatic head nod shit. I feel like when people hear your music, they're gonna know in 10 seconds whether they fuck with you as an artist or not, man.
I
And
agree.
I think that's a great place to be, personally. Plus, your sound is just consistent. Like some people might change their shit up. Like you might like one track from an artist, two tracks, then
Mm-hmm.
something happens, like fuck it. But with you, it's consistent, man.
Thank you.
So yeah, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So I think you've had some shade thrown your way. I think it's fair to say. You even mentioned it in the project, based on sort of
100%.
the success you're having with the radio plays, the streams, stuff like that. Wanted to get into that a bit, if you don't mind,
Oh yeah,
if you're cool with that, man.
of course.
So so I feel like obviously you get some pretty big features. You're pretty wise at picking them, picking the beats for them, and all that. And I think people see the plays you get, the streams you get, the accolades you get, just relative to your start. And I guess there's a bit of hate coming your way. Maybe people feel like you're jumping the line. Is that what you feel at times, or?
The since my first single Checkmate with Mickey Facts and Blanks, I've always had a narrative where people been side chatting that I'm paying my way in terms of like not the features, paying my way into the online shit and the radio plays and
Right,
yada yada.
right,
But bottom line is you simply can't pay for the plays that I'm getting.
right,
You can't pay Static, can't pay the Premiere, you can't pay DJ Eclipse, you can't pay Lord Sarah. There's a selected few you can pay for, and those are the lists that I'm not on.
yeah,
Now I'm not against it if it makes sense for
yeah,
anybody, then by all means. But me personally, I'm not had to spend a dime
right,
on
right,
that
right.
shit.
Right. And like the thing is like knowing the cost of features, some of them. I know some of
Mm-hmm.
them you get
off the strength of the rapport you have with artists.
Uh,
It's coin, but it.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, but it's not a
Oh,
fortune either, man. It's not like you're the only person that
no,
that has done this or could be doing this. You
bro.
know what I'm saying?
Anybody,
So
anybody can go out and get the features that I've purchased. You know,
right,
I invest in my craft. I have a formula. I believe in the product, but that doesn't mean it's going to hit for everybody. Obviously what I'm doing is working. Do the features help? Of course it helps.
yeah,
But if I had a garbage verse and a whack hook and a
yeah.
fire guest appearance, that shit would get nowhere. Doesn't matter
You
who you bring.
you've never sounded out of place with any of your features, and you've had some heavy hitters. Like on this project, you got Mickey Diamond. He had a crazy verse, by the way, but you
Crazy.
sounded right there with him in your
Yep.
own way. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You had Shane OR, same deal. RJ Payne, same deal. You're definitely doing your own thing, man. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
I'm
The other,
definitely I'm confident in my pen. So I like to bring on people that I respect and that also might elevate my writing. You know what I mean? It's like a win-win for me. I'm a fan and also it's a sport.
yeah.
So that's how I think of my features.
The other thing to me is like I feel like the internet was supposed to level the playing field anyways, right? Like
Facts.
so who controls the rule book of what you should do, what you shouldn't do? The whole point is to find your way as best you can.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
bro, the wild thing is I've never been shown a
Yeah,
door. I've never had a team behind me. I've never had anyone teach me anything of this shit. Like
right,
I
right.
found my DJs myself. I found my radio shit myself. I found how to promote. I found how to content all myself. So it's 100% earned and 100% given, like
Yeah, man.
off the strength.
Yeah. Opportunity meets
That's
preparation too,
right.
right? So yeah, man. And look, you know, your first project, this project, your second project, this project, they're all getting spins on Shade 45, multiple DJs.
Yeah,
This is
for
not a
sure.
coincidence that they keep fucking with your music either, right?
No,
So
especially
they could have
static.
easily stopped at any point,
Of
you know what I'm
course.
saying, and moved on. So, yeah, man. So you got a very consistent sound. I just thought I'd ask you artistically, are there any surprising turns you're going to take with future albums? I know you mentioned this next album is actually the first one that you're sort of writing it as an album
Yeah.
instead of singles.
Yeah.
But
So the sound on this one, I don't know. It's gonna be obviously a j.roberts album, but Old Man 80s, his beats are definitely different. The sound is impeccable, but it's definitely not Gift and Curse. It's definitely not Shamrocks and Machine Guns. I would say it's a mix of North Side with a little more like LA type of vibes in
interesting.
terms of that. But yeah, it's gonna be great. There's a couple uh, personal shit on there, and it's just some bops. It's another full rounded album, and I can't wait.
So looking forward to peeping that. The other thing I'm noticing, it seems you're getting a lot of support now in alignment with some like Canadian,
Mm,
I'd call them veterans, legends. You got Daniel's son. I saw like CZ in your comments,
yep.
Asen and others.
Hmm.
How does it feel to sort of get that nod? Do you feel like you're getting a nod? And if so, how does that feel?
Yeah, bro, it feels good because like before I even started music, I was like out of tune of underground Toronto rap. I just once I got online and stuff, I started hearing these people and realizing like how big of a deal they are. So I think it just took a little bit of time for them to see that I'm really about this, and it feels great to get the respect. I just did a show, Ready Rock from New York, I believe, had a show in Ontario, and I rocked the stage with Ayo
Mm,
Biggs and Daniel's son, and it was all love and support. It's a great thing. You don't see it much.
yeah, man. And again, to me, just more proof points, more milestones. You
Of
know.
course.
Um, So I saw you did collab with Biggs on your album as well. You know what? I personally appreciate his story. I think he took a huge hiatus from hip hop.
Yeah.
He decided he's going to do it again. I think it's been over like 15 years. I think he almost had a deal or something like
Yep.
that, and
Biggs
Universal
is
Canada,
fire,
all that.
bro. Fire.
He's very tapped in as well, man. So yeah, but I like the line he has on the track from your album. He's like, back in the days, man, we was young Crips. blah blah blah. Now you call triple two tips. So just
Yep.
raw shit, man. I love that shit.
That was one of my favorite lines as well.
Yeah,
if
man.
you know, you know.
Yeah. Stood out.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute since we saw a video from you. I feel like anything on the video front coming up?
Yeah, I think in the next like 2 weeks, I think we're shooting one for Gift and Curse.
Nice.
Question mark for what track, but it if all pans out, it's going to be a good one.
Looking forward to that, bro. So look, I have a closing question for everyone. So here's my closing question for you. Is there anything the naysayers are misunderstanding about j.roberts?
I would say that dedication, planning, and investing. That's the rubric everybody should follow, and I guarantee you, if you follow that rubric, you will reap the rewards. You know, anybody can do it. You just gotta want it and have a plan.
And definitely,
that's it.
People don't invest enough in their craft.
No,
I would say
invest in everything. Your production, your mixing, your art, everything. Just set shit up proper. Bring a polished product, and it's gonna get where it has to go.
Dope, bro. Well, it all shows in your work. It's great to have you on again. Hopefully, we'll meet up at one of these events sometime soon. I'm sure we will.
I plan to be outside more next year. I plan to perform a bit more, so I'm sure we'll link up in due time.
For sure, bro. So thank you, everyone, for joining. Straight 16 just joined. You're a little late, but thank you for joining. Nikki Jones, Only Good Thing, Show Rock, AC6, I Lord Owen, several others. Any final words before we depart?
Yeah, just appreciate the support for my album Gift and Curse. You know, keep running that. Run that Bandcamp. You never know, there could be some copies down the road to get a physical of the project. And salute to you, brother. Appreciate you having me on.
Anytime, bro. Thanks again. Have a great night, Jay. Have a great night, everyone. Peace.
You too. Bless.